10 American muscle cars that destroyed European supercars. For decades, European car manufacturers looked down on American muscle cars like they were crude barbarians crashing a sophisticated dinner party. Italian exotics with their racing pedigree, German engineering precision, and British sports car heritage were supposed to represent the pinnacle of automotive achievement. American muscle? Just brute force wrapped in steel, or so they thought. Then something beautiful happened. American engineers stopped caring about European opinions and started building cars that could embarrass Ferraris, humble Lamborghinis, and make Porsche owners question their life choices. These weren't just fast cars. These were automotive statements that proved sometimes the best answer to sophisticated engineering is overwhelming power delivered with zero apologies. Today, we're counting down 10 American muscle cars that didn't just compete with European supercars. They absolutely destroyed them, often while costing a fraction of the price. These machines proved that American ingenuity could build cars that made European exotics look like expensive decorations. But here's what'll blow your mind. Number 3 on our list was so devastating to European pride that Ferrari actually tried to have it banned from international racing. And wait until you hear about number 1. It was so dominant that European manufacturers accused Americans of cheating, simply because they couldn't believe anything that crude could be that fast. So grab your freedom and your pride, because we're about to prove that sometimes the best way to beat sophisticated engineering is with raw American determination and engines that don't know the meaning of subtle. Number 10, 1970 Plymouth Cuda 446-pack. The Plymouth Cuda 446-pack looked at the Lamborghini Miura's elegant Italian styling and said, "Hold my beer." While European supercars were concerned with sophisticated aerodynamics, Plymouth decided that 3 two-barrel carburetors and a 440 cubic inch engine were the only sophistication anyone really needed. The Miura cost about $20,000 in 1970, the Cuda 446-pack about $3,800, and it would absolutely destroy the Italian exotic in any straight-line confrontation. The Lamborghini looked prettier in a museum, but the Plymouth looked better disappearing at the horizon. European car journalists couldn't understand how something so visually aggressive could actually back up its threatening appearance. When you mashed the accelerator, those outer carburetors kicked in with a sound like controlled explosions, creating power delivery that was immediate, overwhelming, and completely devastating to anything with Italian plates. Quarter-mile performance numbers told the real story. The Cuda consistently embarrassed supercars costing 5 times as much. While European engineers were debating optimal gear ratios, Plymouth engineers were proving that sometimes the best solution was just building a bigger engine. Number 9, 1967 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. The Camaro Z28 was Chevrolet's answer to European sports cars that claimed superior handling was more important than raw power. While Porsche 911S and Jaguar E-Types were impressing journalists with sophisticated suspension designs, the Z28 was proving Americans could build cars that both handled and accelerated like weapons. European manufacturers had convinced themselves that American cars couldn't corner. The Z28 demolished that stereotype by out-handling most European sports cars while simultaneously embarrassing them in straight-line performance. It was like watching a linebacker run a faster 40-yard dash than a marathon runner. The DZ302 engine was Chevrolet's masterpiece of small displacement fury. While European engines achieved high RPM through exotic materials, Chevrolet created a motor that could rev to the moon using good old-fashioned American metallurgy and engineering precision that Europeans claimed Americans couldn't achieve. Trans Am racing proved the Z28's superiority on an international stage. European manufacturers brought their best efforts to American racing series, only to watch Camaros dominate tracks where handling was supposed to be more important than horsepower. Number 8, 1968 Chevrolet Corvette L88. The L88 Corvette was Chevrolet's nuclear option, a car so powerful that the company actually tried to discourage people from buying it. While Ferrari was building the 365 GTB/4 Daytona and charging astronomical prices, Chevrolet was building a car that could absolutely humiliate it for a fraction of the cost. The L88 engine was officially rated at 430 horsepower, but everyone knew that was a lie. Real-world dyno tests showed the L88 making closer to 550 horsepower, numbers that made European exotic engines look like they belonged in economy cars. European supercars of the era were beautiful, sophisticated, and expensive. The L88 Corvette was beautiful, brutal, and comparatively affordable. Road tests consistently showed it outrunning Ferraris and Lamborghinis that cost twice as much and came with half the reliability. What really drove European manufacturers crazy was the L88's accessibility. While their exotic cars required special knowledge and expensive maintenance, the L88 was a Corvette that any American mechanic could service. It offered supercar performance with muscle car practicality. Number 7, 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. The Charger Daytona looked like it had been designed by aerospace engineers who had given up on Earth entirely, and its performance made European supercar manufacturers question whether Americans had secretly developed advanced technology. While Ferraris were beautiful at car shows, the Daytona was beautiful at 200 miles per hour. European manufacturers prided themselves on aerodynamic sophistication. Dodge took a different approach. They made the car so powerful and aerodynamically extreme that air resistance became irrelevant. The result was something that looked like automotive science fiction, but performed like pure American determination. The nose cone and rear wing weren't just for show. They were functional aerodynamic components proven at NASCAR's super speedways, where European cars feared to tread. While European exotics were designed for mountain roads, the Daytona was designed to achieve speeds that European manufacturers could only dream about. NASCAR proved the Daytona's superiority in the most direct way possible. European manufacturers occasionally ventured into American racing series, only to watch their sophisticated engineering get demolished by cars that looked like they belonged in science fiction movies. Number 6, 1970 Chevelle SS LS6. The LS6. Chevelle was what happened when Chevrolet decided to see how much power they could stuff into a mid-size package, and the result made European supercars look like they were powered by sophisticated lawn-mower engines. While Ferrari was carefully engineering 352 horsepower from a complex V12, Chevrolet was casually extracting 450 horsepower from a pushrod V8. European manufacturers had convinced themselves that American engines were crude and inefficient. The LS6 Chevelle destroyed both assumptions by out-accelerating European exotics while handling well enough to embarrass sports cars that cost 3 times as much. The LS6 engine was Chevrolet's masterpiece of big block engineering. While European manufacturers achieved power through exotic materials and complex designs, Chevrolet created an engine that made more power than most European V12 engines while being simple enough for any mechanic to rebuild. Quarter-mile performance numbers told the real story. The LS6 Chevelle consistently ran times that European supercars struggled to match, despite costing a fraction of what Italian and German manufacturers charged. But wait until you see what's coming next. The cars we're about to reveal didn't just embarrass European supercars, they made European engineers question everything they thought they knew about performance. Number 5, 1970 Plymouth Hemi Cuda. The 426 Hemi Cuda was Plymouth's declaration that American engineering could create something so powerful that European sophistication became irrelevant. While Lamborghini was building the Miura with its advanced mid-engine design, Plymouth was building a car that could outrun it while looking like automotive anger management. The 426 Hemi engine was legendary before it ever found its way into street cars. NASCAR and drag racing had proven its dominance over everything else on the planet, including engines from manufacturers who claimed American technology was inferior. European supercars required sophisticated driving techniques and expensive maintenance to achieve their performance potential. The Hemi Cuda required courage, because when you mashed the accelerator, physics took a vacation, and you experienced acceleration that made European exotic car performance seem quaint. Road test comparisons consistently showed the Hemi Cuda embarrassing cars that cost 5 times as much. European automotive journalists couldn't understand how something that looked so aggressive could actually deliver on its threatening appearance. Number 4, 1969 Dodge Super B 446 Pack. The Super B 446 Pack was Dodge's answer to European manufacturers who claimed their sophisticated engineering was superior to American brute force. While Ferraris and Lamborghinis were impressing wealthy customers with exotic designs, Dodge was building a car that could embarrass them while looking like it wanted to start a fight. What made the Super B devastating to European pride was its no-compromise attitude. While European manufacturers offered luxury features and refined interiors, Dodge stripped everything down to the essentials and spent every dollar making the car go faster. The result was a machine that could outrun supercars, costing 5 times as much. The 446 Pack engine was Dodge's masterpiece of controlled violence. 3 two-barrel carburetors created a power delivery system that was immediate, overwhelming, and completely devastating to anything with European plates. When those outer carburetors kicked in, it sounded like automotive thunder announcing the arrival of American supremacy. European car magazines struggled to explain how something so visually aggressive could consistently outperform their most sophisticated engineering achievements. The Super B wasn't just fast, it was so fast that it made European exotic car performance seem polite and reserved. Number 3. 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. The Camaro was so devastatingly powerful that European manufacturers accused Chevrolet of cheating, simply because they couldn't believe anything that looked like a regular muscle car could achieve such overwhelming performance. While Ferrari was charging astronomical prices for hand-built exotics, Chevrolet was building a car that could destroy them using racing technology. The all-aluminum 427 engine was the same power plant that dominated NASCAR and Can-Am racing, proving its superiority over European racing engines in direct competition. When Chevrolet made it available in a street car, they were essentially selling race-winning technology to anyone brave enough to handle it. European automotive journalists couldn't understand how American manufacturers could achieve such extreme performance using relatively simple technology. The ZL1's aluminum big block made more power than most European V12 engines, while being lighter, more reliable, and easier to service. Only 69 ZL1 Camaros were ever built, making them rarer than most European exotics, but every single one was capable of performance that European supercar manufacturers struggled to achieve with their most advanced technology. Ferrari actually attempted to have the ZL1 restricted from international racing competition, claiming that its performance advantage was unfair to other manufacturers. The complaint was essentially European admission that American engineering had achieved something they couldn't match. Number 2. 1970 Dodge Challenger RT426 Hemi. The Hemi Challenger represented the absolute peak of American muscle car philosophy. Take the most powerful engine ever built and wrap it in the most beautiful body Detroit ever created. Then watch European supercar owners realize they'd been paying premium prices for inferior performance. The 426 Hemi engine was so dominant that European manufacturers lobbied racing organizations to restrict its use, claiming it provided an unfair advantage over their sophisticated engineering solutions. The complaints were essentially admission that American brute force engineering had achieved superiority over European technical sophistication. While European supercars required specialized knowledge and expensive maintenance to achieve their performance potential, the Hemi Challenger delivered devastating acceleration to anyone brave enough to turn the key. It was supercar performance with muscle car reliability. Road test comparisons consistently showed the Hemi Challenger outperforming European supercars that cost 2 or 3 times as much. American automotive journalists weren't surprised, but European car magazines struggled to explain how something so crude could consistently embarrass their most sophisticated engineering achievements. Number 1. 1965 to 1967 Shelby Cobra 427 Super Snake. The Cobra 427 Super Snake wasn't just the ultimate American muscle car. It was automotive proof that when Americans decided to build the fastest car on Earth, European sophistication became completely irrelevant. Carroll Shelby took everything European manufacturers thought they knew about performance cars and threw it out the window. Only 2 Super Snake Cobras were ever built, making them rarer than any European exotic, but their performance was so overwhelming that they redefined what street-legal cars could accomplish. While European manufacturers were building beautiful machines for wealthy customers who wanted exclusivity, Shelby was building something that could outrun anything on 4 wheels. The Super Snake could accelerate from 0 to 100 miles per hour and back to 0 in under 14 seconds, a performance number that European supercar manufacturers couldn't match with their most advanced technology. It wasn't just fast, it was so fast that it made European exotic car performance seem quaint. European racing organizations actually attempted to ban Cobra variants from international competition, claiming their performance advantage was unfair to manufacturers who were playing by traditional engineering rules. The bans were essentially European admission that American engineering had achieved something they couldn't match. The Super Snake proved that American automotive engineering, when properly motivated, could create performance that European manufacturers couldn't achieve with unlimited budgets and advanced technology. It was the ultimate vindication of American muscle car philosophy. Sometimes the best answer to sophisticated engineering is overwhelming power delivered with zero apologies. These American muscle cars that didn't just compete with European supercars, they absolutely destroyed them, often while costing a fraction of what European manufacturers charged for inferior performance. These machines proved that American engineering, when properly motivated, could achieve results that European sophistication couldn't match. The beautiful irony is that European manufacturers spent decades claiming technological superiority over American automotive engineering, only to watch their most advanced, most expensive creations get consistently embarrassed by cars that shared technology with pickup trucks and family sedans. These cars represented more than just superior performance. They represented a fundamental difference in automotive philosophy. While European manufacturers built cars to impress journalists and wealthy customers who wanted exclusivity, American manufacturers built cars to win races and satisfy customers who wanted maximum performance for their money. The muscle car era proved that sometimes the most elegant engineering solution is also the most obvious one. Build a bigger engine, make it more powerful, and don't overthink the process. While European engineers were debating sophisticated valve train designs, American engineers were proving that displacement and determination could overcome any engineering challenge. Today's American performance cars continue this tradition. Modern Corvettes embarrass Ferraris, Hellcats outrun Lamborghinis, and Ford GTs make Porsche engineers question their life choices. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Which of these American automotive dominance demonstrations makes you most proud to be an American car enthusiast? Which European supercar do you think deserved the humiliation it received at the hands of American muscle? And which modern American performance car do you think is carrying on this tradition of making European exotics look overpriced and underpowered? Let us know in the comments which of these American victories over European pretension makes your patriotic heart beat faster, and share your stories about the times you've seen American muscle embarrass European exotics in real life. If this celebration of American automotive superiority brought back some memories or opened your eyes to how thoroughly American muscle dominated European supercars, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Next week, we're diving into another list that'll make you appreciate the engineering genius that built these American legends. Thanks for riding along through this victory lap of American automotive dominance. And remember, sometimes the best answer to European sophistication is American determination and engines that don't know the meaning of compromise.